Alrighty. Good afternoon and good morning for everybody on the West Coast. I wanted to thank everybody for attending today. Today we're going to be talking over some of the new content coming into the system. Vince has a lot of information on that side of things. Just to kind of start, we did have the update at the beginning of this month for the QuickBooks Online changes to their new layout. Um, if any of your firms has issues where the old layout is getting created or you're needing any assistance in there, feel free to reach out to me and I can be able to assist on that side. But other than that, that should be good there. Vince, did you have anything that you wanted to talk about before starting up?
Well, just a quick note on the Intuit QBO issue. Chris had decided to make the change when Intuit notified us that I think it was effective some Monday morning that they were going to convert everybody. And then lo and behold, we have found some holes in their release of the new screen version. Not every new client you set up defaults to the new layout, even though it's supposed to. So to be consistent with what Intuit is supposed to be showing, we did go ahead and upgrade all the modules to show the new faceplates. But if you do run into that, just please contact Chris and he can set your user up with the old screenshots if we need to do so. Outside of that, I'm ready to get into my content for some of the new releases, which I am really excited about this because we've been working on this one for a while. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So I don't know if I can actually fit everything that we're working on right now into the next 25 minutes, but you guys know me, I talk really quickly and I am going to try. So first thing I want to show, and just want to make sure, Chris, is my screen up on share?
Yep.
Okay. So we have added, or we will be adding, let me rephrase that, we will be adding a new level up course, which is a pathway from bookkeeper to accountant to advisor. So one of the problems that we have all seen is as technology is coming into our field faster and faster, our bookkeepers, our data processors, right? If they're just a bookkeeper and they really don't know how to read and analyze financial statements, they are at risk of their job becoming replaced or archaic in the next couple of years based on how fast AI is filtering into the accounting space. So a lot of the AI that we see right now is actually doing the data entry, right? Most everything that we do is import or auto feeds. We don't really key punch data. So there's going to be a large number of employees that are potentially on the chopping block, or to me, that's a lot of potential employees that we can upskill to bring them to the next level of accountant and advisor, where they actually learn how to analyze financial statements and advise clients. So this particular course, and it is not fully constructed, but I want to give you guys a just kind of a view into my brain. This is what I envisioned a 4-year degree without a 4-year degree. So this is the accounting degree. We're going to try to squeeze, basically it's the last 2 years of college because that's what you would be focusing on in your junior and senior year. Financial, managerial, cost accounting. We are trying to marry all of that into this level up pathway program. So this is going to walk them everything from what their role is of financial data to the accounting equation, the accounting cycle, to inventory and costing, internal controls and cash. We do a bigger breakdown into, or a deeper dive into receivables, bad debts, liabilities, equity. Right now, there are 20 sections built to this. I actually have 37 or 38 currently. This will consist of videos, assessments, just pathway learning to get them to where we can upskill that current bookkeeper and take them into a higher role. By the end, they should be able to actually look at a financial statement. They should be able to analyze that financial statement and provide the client with feedback and guidance. So this module, when it is done, when it is completed, will more than likely take the user somewhere a year plus to complete. So that would be with them working on this, maybe somewhere in the range of 4 to 6 hours a week. So it's not that we're looking at this. This is not going to add to um, the current LMS system. Once they get through module, if it's a bookkeeper, they get through module 701, they're pretty much done and they can actually start processing work. This would be something that you can assign to them and let them do on their own, let them do at home. If they want to protect their job and move forward in the profession, this is what's going to help get them to that next level. So that is Accounting 2000, the level up, the pathway from bookkeeper to accountant to advisor. One of the other series of modules that has now been added, this is a first for the LMS. These will actually be client-facing modules. So for those of you in the group that remember Core 24, we have kind of created our own version of Core 24. We've simplified it a little. It's not 24 modules, it's more like 17. But this is something that you can either sell to your clients, just add them as a user into the LMS. You can add a tier pricing, let's say, to your current client base and say, hey, for $15 extra a month, we're going to give you these videos of business fundamentals. The first deals in, so I broke this down into 3 modules. The first is the startup and formation. So this is if they're thinking about opening a business or why entity choice and the management of that entity is so important. So that would be for the startup side of it. The second module, is more designed around operational financial awareness or financial intelligence. So this walks them through how to read a financial statement. Now, the way I designed these modules is not to replace the accountant or the bookkeeper, but to augment what we do. Every module was built around this is why you need to ask your CPA or your accountant for advice in this area. So these modules were designed to lead the business owner to ask questions and potentially then seek out additional consulting from your firm. So here we go over financial statements made simple, banking and capital management, income and expense, employee versus independent contractor, employee management, how to recruit, pay, manage, retain, and terminate, owner compensation and benefits, and then technology and dental hygiene, which would be cybersecurity. And the last module in this group deals with the maturity of the business or the termination of the business. So we get into kind of beyond basics. So this would be real estate as a business strategy, key performance indicators, investments and insurance, working on the business, not in the business, and then a continuity plan. So an exit plan for the business owner. And again, this module is not designed to provide them all the answers. It's designed to point them to you. It's designed to point them back to the firm to ask the questions, set up the consulting, and then hopefully lead to advisory engagements. Several other modules that are new and will be popping up. Let me just jump down to the tax side. So I am working on several advanced tax modules right now, code section 1202 and section 754 elections. For partnerships, these modules are now or will be available more than likely by November 1. So again, this was designed to help take the questions away from senior management. If one of the junior tax preparers has a question and they don't know how to handle a 754 election, this walks them through the fundamental understanding of a 754 election and 1202 stock sale. In addition to these two advanced modules, I am currently working on passive activity loss and NIIT, real estate from passive active self-rental, depreciation and amortization classes and lives, how to review a 1040, an 1120S, and a 1065. So this would help train our trainers on how to review tax returns for some of our junior staff. In addition to these modules and the modules up top, I have a 10 module section on tax planning for seniors and high net worth. So this goes through everything from Medicare planning, the IRMA adjustments, what to watch for. If you have a client, for example, that's in an installment agreement or is entering an installment agreement, it might be better to pay the installment or pay the tax all up front to avoid the IRMA adjustment over the next 5 to 10 years during the payment of the installment agreement. We just kind of go through a whole scenario based on some of our elderly clients. We have built 3 niche guides, one for restaurants, one for construction, and one for veterinary services. So this will familiarize your team with the lingo and the how-tos in each of those 3 industries. And currently I have a 10 module advisory light that is getting ready to release. This one will probably be by end of year. That is the 10 module section for small business consulting, small business advisory, and S Corp planning and advisory. So as you can tell, we've been busy. We are trying to add some additional levels for all of you. The modules that we are working on now, again, from our standpoint or our viewpoint, if I go back to your accounting section, so accounting 00, the start through accounting 701, think of that like the first 2 years of college, right? That's going to be your AA. That gives them the basic fundamentals to get started and to do their job and process clients. Same way with the tax side. This walks them through the basics of how to prepare tax returns for 1040s, 1120s, 1065s, 1120Ss. What we are working on now is more those advanced series. So it's the harder how-tos and the upskilling or the up-leveling of their knowledge. So this will become a much larger database or data bank of searchable videos for them if they don't know how. The upper modules, we tend to believe that, especially the advanced tax, that you would already have them set as a trainer so they could bounce to whatever module they want. It's not a predefined course of they have to take 1202 and they have to take 754. They may never see a 1202 in their entire career, or they may never see a 754 election in their entire career. But if they do, then those modules are accessible. So, and yes, Lisa, right now, if you are paying for the full version of the LMS, in other words, if you are not just subscribing to accounting or just subscribing to tax, these modules would be part of the ongoing subscription cost. The business fundamentals, this in particular will only be available to those that subscribe to the full module. So that is it from my side. I know everybody's coming off a 10:15 deadline, and some of us, wanted to go on vacation, and but we do greatly appreciate you guys joining us today. We were really excited to share what is upcoming for this. Our goal is to have most of these released by the November 1 date. There will be a handful that will be released by end of year. Um, so if there are any questions, please ask in chat or
Vince, I was gonna say, while we're waiting for any questions, do you want to hop into one of those sections to where they can kind of see what the content will look
yes,
like?
yes.
Because
So let
the
me pull into operational. So this is going to look way different than what you guys are used to. So for example, if we go into understanding your financial statement, and the AWS server issue is still killing us today. So this is designed more from a client standpoint where the modules are easier to understand, easier to click through. There's no test for the owners. They'll click start course. It'll give them a brief summary on the left. They go through, there's audio if they want it. They scroll down, they can read each section. There's flip charts in which they can flip for information. They can flip open the side charts for more information. There's additional, meet the information, or, meet the financial statements. They get information on each of the financial statements. They continue along. We walk them through a couple of quick questions. They actually don't have to answer them. They can continue, but this just, hey, did you actually understand what what you just watched? They can move through to the next section without taking the test. And then again, they can click through, open up the additional information. And then if we get to the very end, as I said, these were designed with you guys in mind, right? This is designed with, hey, when to call your CPA, know your limits, or when to call your tax. So we designed this with, we're trying to teach you how to read the financials to ask intelligent questions, but you need your tax or your accountant to really advise. And that's similar to the other modules. That's how we've built the new modules with a new presentation software. So it's less technical from the client side and more of a conversation show. It is educational. It's just not as technical as what the accountant modules would be. The accountant modules, and Chris, I don't know how much I have built in that yet. So here again, I have not built out the assessments and the others, but for example, recording and adjusting business transactions, similar video layout now, or similar PowerPoint layout, where more flip charts, more interactive, less pure video, so to speak. Walks them through how to post. There will be question and answer session. There will be a due to, like at the end, they will actually have to perform functions to pass each section. And then the plan is at the end of the, whatever it is, 30 something module, they would get some form of a certificate showing that they have completed all of these education courses. So that's it for me. Chris and I will both be Chris will be at Intuit Connect coming up at the end of October. I will be at PASBA for anybody there the first week of November. And then both Chris and I will be at Thomson Reuters Synergy in Orlando, November
6th to
6th through
9th.
the 8th or 6th through the 9th. So please don't hesitate. Come grab us at the booth, ask us any questions. We greatly appreciate everybody's feedback and request. Remember, I do take requests if possible. Some of these modules that you are seeing built have been requested by various members. And if it's something that I can do, if it's something that I feel we can build, then we are more than happy to give that a shot and make that happen. I will stop sharing.
Yeah, Mariella, once we have the courses go live for like the business fundamentals, you'll have access to that on your firm's side, to where you could be able to look at the course yourself before assigning it to firms.
And Crystal, actually, we were having this conversation last week in our roadmap journey session. So iSolved currently has an LMS, although any of us on iSolved will tell you that we do not believe that it is super simple. So what our plans are, we are going to create an iSolved training map that will walk a user through the basics, right? How to set up a client, how to process a payroll, how to process reports. The problem with payroll, and we run into this with the Thomson Reuters module, is that every firm sets things up a little differently. And so it does add to the complexity of a payroll module. But yes, our goal is to have an iSolved, an iSolved some type of training program available. And Asset Keeper, Heather, are you referring to more to like a password keeper program? Depreciation. Okay, so depreciation and amortization will be they are on my roadmap for something hopefully before the end of the year, but it's not going to be software specific, at least not at this point. If it is, there are a large number of users in the space that currently use Thomson Reuters fixed asset program, even if they don't use UltraTax for tax. So if it was going to be a software right now, it would probably be the Thomson Reuters program just because it's so widely used. Release schedule for the new modules. Again, Carla, our goal is there's a handful that will be released by November 1, with almost everything that we addressed in today's meeting available by end of year. The PAL and the NIIT, that one you're more than likely looking in early December for that module.
And as we get the content added into the system, we'll be sending out messages to everyone so that you know that they're available to your system side.
And Carla, that's actually a really good topic that has come up from now multiple users. So again, if you guys come across something that you're having issues training your team members on, like I said, please send it to me. If I can create a module for it, I will. And PAL and NIIT just happens to be a relatively, it's a I won't say an easy module, but it's going to be technical, but fairly straightforward. So that's it from our side, guys. Thanks everyone for attending. We really appreciate, again, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate the feedback, and we look forward to seeing you all at hopefully one of the upcoming conferences.
Thanks, everyone.